remake the world as a digital simulation, really, to digitalize, to steal life. It is an anti-life program. It's moving from carbon-based life to silicon-based life, to a digital
Make me a fat turkey sandwich.
that they can control, that is disconnected from spirit and
I'm envisioning a world full of love and peace. Thus my decision is to walk with his peace. Through tones, melodies, poems, and beats. But when the time comes, shoot it out in the middle of the streets. In the bright glow of the dawn, I see myself clearly, bringing in a new day. The old way of doing things is done. I don't care what you say. Monsters don't sleep under your bed. They sleep inside your head. And if you haven't done the shadow work, and left behind is where you stay. I'm envisioning a world full of love and peace. Thus my decision is to walk with this beast. Through tones, melodies, poems, and beats. But when the time comes, shoot it out in the middle of the street. We gotta protect plus homeschool. Our babies is a must. They not just no moms, but also no pops. Ebola, worshiping pedophiles. Wanna feed our children's spirits to robots. Turn all of us from carbon-based to silicone-based. Should be where the shit show stops. Get back to doing for ourselves. Water system, irrigation, and grow crops. I'm envisioning a world full of love and peace. Thus my decision is to walk with this beast. Through tones,
Yo, Dad, what's up, man?
melodies, poems, and beats. But when the time comes, shoot it out in the middle of the streets. I'm saying I'm not some master teacher. No, am I some pastor or preacher? Was released from prison with this passion to speak up. After doing 25 years in the beast cuffs. Realize they tried to teach us spiritual, mental, physical diet. They tried to feed us the fire of our ancestors resides in each of us. With that, I'm inspired to turn this heat up. I'm envisioning a world full of love and peace. Thus my decision is to war with this beast. Through tones, melodies, poems, and beats. But when the time comes, shoot it out in the middle of the streets.
we're really approaching almost like it's a Frankenstein moment. And they're framing it to us as, innovation, right? We should all be so excited that this is happening. And, I equate it to like the golem, bringing in like these robots. They would like to feed our life force to learn us in every tiny detail, not to empower us, but to actually transform us into a robotic simulation that is under their full control.
Nah, bro. Come on. You almost there, bro. Almost there. Survive.
I do it dance for Chi-Town. Who am I but Chi-Town? You young fool, I'm too fly to just slide out. Blue sky behind ground. My crown slash helmet. So my aircraft still spit. Can't be tied down, even seat building. I look down, I see green like a Celtic. My heat pulverizes, the cheese is melted. The remnants of cash money, I dispelled it. You did the fusions in my eyes, I beheld it. The finger fucked that caused my hand, I dealt it. Felt the vibrate from the gut of my pelvic. The buzz all over ice and some velvet shit. So radiant, I keep a dark room well lit. Cause you little goofies are well quick. Body for real, marquee velvet. Body enough for Mars, is a female's click. As a kid, all I did was fight. I did the bit with a knife. I know I can spit my flows to shit. To a fly zone, haters wanna crucify. A real man, I still stand with the still hand. But with Hiller man, it's not Cypress Hill. I'm Tuttle Sheep. I'm one tough cookie. I don't follow our set standards. Catch me, you gon' have to do more to scamper. Need more to scanners. I'm off the radar. I am as you goofies play God. Some worship the Christ, others pray to Allah. Chase a high, drink paper or bruh. You stagnated while I straight evolve. At a rate, I'm dating space AC, y'all. Buster stuck in the cages face off. After the shape the state is a fake, a fraud. Battlestar intergalactic, my mindset. Perfect comes from practice, so I rhyme best. I excel like I'm climbing a step. You got a lot to learn. I am adept, you of no concern. I am a threat. My measurement, width, lift, height, and depth. I'm just piloting up. Flying a jet, straight to adversary. Martial Chronicles like Ray Bradbury. I'm a thorough guy, goddammit. Sebastian Capero, or Fly Bandit. Mohawk, aviators, aerodynamics. And it's like I'm an arrow in precise transit. A Christmas Carol lies what your fans get. Your girls and pearls what I transmit as a transcript. Or I just spit it off the top. It's either shit or get off the pot. This shit's hot.
Wants to get his own crew, and everybody wants to get his own crew rich, and then they want the other little people never get a piece of the pie. I don't want to go for the traffic. I go for you niggas that think that y'all big too. I understand this. That's why you niggas and crackers can't stand me. You niggas just know that I know you can't do nothing if you're broke. Listen to me, young people, old people too, mostly black people. I'm talking to you.
Sure. Y'all really thought that I was done with y'all. Nah. I'm really down on y'all. Fellas up. We're not going back and forth about this or that. Whether your word is bond or whack. Here's a big fact. Yellow, white, red, brown, black. Mau Mau, Big Mac. Whether earth is round or flat. We want our shit back. Enough with the chit chat. I see through the side ops. Looking past the shine spot. Third eye game cyclops. I don't eat pork, but I will fry cops. For foes, my heart's cold as an icebox. I'm saying that ops. From the skybox, I got scope on you pilgrims. The scope with some ropes. Some of our folks are still dumb. Yeah, and blind to the fact that blood, we gon' have this real some warrior spirits inside me. That's where it's real from. The world's a stage, page after page, script is played out. They keep us engaged, they can't arrange. This is played out. Rules of a dying society should have been disobeyed out. Forehead and knees off the floor should have been prayed out. The draft is on, COVID's no issue. Coulda blown it in tissue. Now it's control who blows the whistle to who holds the pistols. The debacle's about who owes who the fiscal. It's regarding the aboriginal issue. We're not going back and forth about this or that. Whether your word is bound or wet. Here's a big fact. Yellow, white, red, brown, black. Mau Mau, Big Mac. Whether earth is round or flat. We want our shit back. Being fool is known by his speech. Yet if I don't speak, I suffer defeat. I'm other than we, ain't sucker or me. Stand on 2 feet, watch of the other cheek. The wise man known by his silence. Mostly disguised compliance. Silence by guidance from conspiring connivance. Other aspirants of violence. Tyrants of fire. Tritons and giants who hide. I'm sure and defiant. And
Hey, you got any more cinnamon, cuz?
in my ear, they've got indictments. These pedophiles, queers, groupies, and hyping. Alignments, the assignment. I'm not the wisest, I'm not client. My refinement and confinement and requirements for this climate. Y'all push on the paperwork, or y'all can protest, but they can't escape this work. I vow to progress, don't duck, no wreck. Dream is for real. My soul they don't possess. We're foolish with no deal. Ain't playing with none of them. It's personal, know what the business is. Big Mom says come full circle, so vacate your premises. We're not going back and forth about this or that. Whether your word is bound or whack. Here's a big thing. Yellow, white, red, brown, black. Mau Mau, or Big Mac. Whether earth is round or flat. We want our shit back. We're not going back and forth. This or that. Whether your word is
I still got this goddamn bottle.
Here's a big fat, yellow, white, red, brown, black. Down, Big Mac. Whether earth is round or flat. We want our shit.
Same like same for lightweight, y'all.
And my music, and a lot of this music, it's only talking about the suppressed rising. I mean, the oppressed rising up against the oppressor. That's all. That's what my music's about. The oppressed rising up against the oppressor. So the only people that's scared are the oppressors. The only people who could have any harm coming to them are those who oppress. Simple as that.
3 pound pressure, no weight lesser. Drop the oppressor, need no surrender. 3 pound pressure, no weight lesser. Drop the oppressor, need no surrender. 3 pound pressure, no weight lesser. Drop the oppressor, need no surrender. 3 pound pressure, no weight lesser. Drop the oppressor, need no surrender. It's time for a change, got a boss up. The oppressor's about to get tossed up. I'ma lay him out, execution style's too late when apologetic claim. You wrapped in a cloak of flame, by God, it's overdue. Your time is in the end. Lockjaw silent without sin. He put me on the planet for justice to win. The oppressor's about to get rolled down. With suppressors attached in the war zone. Revolution can start in the Arizona. I'm a messenger plotted like Farrakhan. Backed by the honorable, who sits at the pinnacle. Who judges the hypocritical, cynical, and the political simple. My thinking is critical. I'm just ventilating of the actions of the protective service. Quick to pull the Glock, blast the cue. This don't take any type of skill. I'm ill of all citizens who haven't took a stand. Or meals too late when the caps get filled. Don't believe it, GC type. Going hits close to home. You gotta act the bone when it got the dome. When it's on the song, all red in my vision through sight. It's killer big kills whenever I fight. From above, I've been given the right. So you better be ready to ride tonight. On the way to the dawn daylight. We gon' hit them all, so gon' pass the kite. 3 pound pressure, no weight lesser. Drop the oppressor, need no surrender. 3 pound pressure, no weight lesser. Drop the oppressor, need no surrender. 3 pound pressure, no weight lesser. Drop the oppressor, need no surrender. 3 pound pressure, no weight lesser. Drop the oppressor, need no surrender.
This world is such a, and when I say this world, I mean it. I don't mean in an ideal sense. I mean in every day, every little thing you do. It's such a, gimme, gimme, gimme. Everybody back off. You know, everybody's like, if you taught that from school, everywhere, big business, you want to be successful, you want to be like Trump, gimme, 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 push, 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 step, 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 crush, crush, crush. That's how it all is, and it's like, nobody ever stopped.
This for my aunt, baby. And the elder roaster. I phoned you. It's for y'all. Babalawo indoctrinated with the art of divination, power of Olaudomari and a room Mila through initiation. The ether system, ancestor spoke, said this my proper station. Words and manifestation that speak truth, my proclamation. Came to earth with my calabash. Destiny you handle, I had a blast with the bags, cash in my past life. New hourglass, time to flabbergast. Master the craft, subtract trash, set forces in motion. On this path to determine future evolution. After I chasm, add the math. Sound of my name in the ground and tremble. My glory great astounds the simple souls that relate. Profound and nimble, sacred estate, royal crown and splendor. Move from body to ether. I carry the asha of Ifa. Unlike you proud deceivers, no one can stop me neither. The more I sacrifice, the more powerfully I excel with my Dragoon. Spiritual guys, carry shell, flowery smell, preparation, foreplay, divination is the doorway to a transformational process. Regardless of garbage before day, my light so bright it ignites the night. Shadow work a fight right over might, smite parasites despite the bites. Third eye sight, super like the strikes. Rumble the thunder and bounce back down. I'm grateful to rescue from an oppressive, hateful cesspool. Was a sworn and a born divine. Spiraling fire adorns my spine. All do for those who want restore corn and do not adore the swine. Persected the tactical temper, respected the unturned stone. No detail neglected. Cherish the day, the moon in the sky. Oracle of the Orish's perspective. I did this in heaven religiously. Divinity your written history. Put in remission your misery. No chicken feet, father of mystery. Let this spoken at last the one. Fast as I spit the tasks done. Come to pass the drum out last the gun. I don't rise from the ash, I'm the dazzling sun.
Oh my goodness. You got to be kidding. Yo, slamming. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Hey, what's going on? What's happening, Natalie Zappa? What's going on? Yeah, good. They come. Hey, Dad, what's going on, beloved? I guess somebody's telling them in the Zohar, that fake Talmudic thing, that they're safe and they can act an idiot here. My advice to you, if I were you, and thank goodness I'm not, I would run. Yeah, and it's not going to do you no good, so run. That's what you know how to do. This phone is, I can't believe I spent about $230 on this crap. This is the worst phone, and they came out with it and took it down quickly. And you know who, you know what I mean? I'm gonna take it apart tomorrow. I'm gonna show you some things in this phone that I was talking to you about. Okay? Damn, they are stupid. Can't make it up. Anyway, I'm going to kick it off here in a minute. I'm just attempting to do something. This is Shoot Your Shot. If you have something worthwhile stating, this is the time to do it. Okay? This is the very time to do it. %charge, because it shuts off at a certain period of time. I don't even know why it does that. It's just crazy. This phone is just one of those things. I think it was meant to go to the fake terrorists, the people they want to kill, but that's all they know how to do. They don't know how to live. Anyway, the pressure. Yeah, the pressure. Yeah, with the frauds. You know, Kill Meal. I know you watched it, and if you haven't, I would advise you to. And I've been saying this since I was in high school. That's the reason why I was getting in arguments and fisticuffs, and I mean, when I grew up, everybody boxed and everybody knew martial arts in the 60s and 70s. And I'm talking about, we are much stronger than you can imagine. So it was really some pretty bad fisticuffs going, where people got to the point where some people were cowardly and they didn't want to, so they would shoot or stab, which mostly everybody I knew that got stabbed survived. Today, people get stabbed, I don't know. I've seen guys stabbed to the mouth, the neck, shot me in the mouth, and it's still here. I mean, half the top of their wig gone, and you know, talking to you like, yo, is it bad? Fool. Dude, you're missing about 1.25 of all your hair and your head. You know what I mean? So when the cities and the suburbs were burning, you know, the race riots and all that dumb stuff. But I'm going to speak on a couple of things, and then if you want, you can go ahead and extrapolate or share something. You know, and I thought it very important to do this. Now, it's probably all over. Like when we say missing children, you need to think doctors, elites, well, what would be considered these worthless fictional elites, Hollywood industry. You already seen some of the ones who have the little sacrifice they let go get locked up or whatever, right? But DynCorp International, right, Inc., over in Kabul, Afghanistan, right, DynCorp was an American private military contractor, starting as an aviation company, and the company also provided flight operations support, training and mentoring, international development, intelligence training and support, contingency operations, security and operations and maintenance of land vehicles. Okay, now check this out. When you start really paying attention, you see a lot of things, right? Security and operations and maintenance of land vehicles. DynCorp received more than 96%, of its more than $3 billion in annual revenue, okay, yearly, from the United States federal government. Now, the corporate headquarters were in an unincorporated part of Fairfax County near Falls Church, Virginia, while the company's contracts were managed from its office at Alliance Airport in Fort Worth, Texas. Now, DynCorp provided services for the U.S. military in several theaters, including Bolivia, Bosnia, Somalia, Angola, Haiti, Colombia, Kosovo, and Kuwait. It also provided much of the security for Afghan President Hamid Karzai, Presidential Guard, and trained much of the police forces of Iraq and Afghanistan. Now, DynCorp was also hired to assist recovery in Louisiana and neighboring areas after Hurricane Katrina. We all know about that crap and the worthless fictional FEMA. And the company held one contract on every round of competition since receiving the first contract field team's contract in 1951. Now, in 2020, DynCorp was bought by Germantown, Maryland-based Defense Support Services conglomerate Amentum on April 21st, 2021. Now, the DynCorp name was discontinued, and employees and services transferred to Amentum. That's Amentum. California's Eastern Aviation from 1946 to 1961. California Eastern Aviation was incorporated in Delaware on January 14, 1946, operated as a common carrier from then until 1948, flying freight between East and West Coasts, one of the largest domestic freight operators of the time, blowing up a lot of authoritarian buildings too, besides in the early 1900s, okay? Over the time, unfortunately, this was not profitable, and the company entered bankruptcy in May of 1948, ceasing common carrier activities and leasing out its aircraft instead, which enabled it to exist bankruptcy in 1950. It then became an uncertified carrier, flying for the U.S. military during the 1950s. Its California Eastern Airways division supported the Korean War, the DEW line, U.S. activities in the Philippines, French Indochina, and maintained personnel in Tokyo, Hawaii, Wake Island. Well, y'all never talk about it. One of the largest such operators, the airline, the airline flew both Douglas DC-4s and Lockheed Constellations. Now, in 1959, the carrier received interim certification as a supplemental air carrier, at which time it had two divisions, the airline operation and flight training. It's good to have background, okay? And two subsidiaries, Land Air and Air Carrier Service Corp. Land Air held contracts performing instrumentation and R&D, research and development activities at White Sands Missile Range. In 1960, California Eastern sold its airline operations to President Airlines. Who remembers that? DynCorp traces its origins from two companies formed in 1946, California Eastern Airways, CEA, and an air freight business, and Land Air Inc., an aircraft maintenance company. California Eastern Airways was founded by a small group of returning World War II pilots who wanted to break into the air cargo business. They were one of the first firms to ship cargo by air, and within a year, the firm was serving both coasts. California Eastern Airways diversified into multiple government aviation and managerial jobs, airlifted supplies for the Korean War, and was responsible for the White Sands Missile Range, a client that DynCorp has retained for 50 years. Keep this. Now, in 1951, Land Air Inc., right, LAI, which implemented the first contract-filled teams of technicians that maintain military aircraft for the United States Air Force, well, always the Air Force, right? Turn on the citizens. Was bought by California Eastern Aviation Inc. Now, DynCorp still holds the contract 50 years later, maintaining rotary and fixed-wing aircraft for all branches of the United States Armed Services. Figure that out. Remember, we were reading about a law? Anyway, competition. At this time, revenues for the company reached $6 million. Now, in 1952, the company renamed California Eastern Aviation Inc., merged with Air Carrier Service Corporation, AirCar, okay, which sold commercial aircraft and spare parts to foreign airlines and governments. Dynalectron, 1962, all right, to 1987. I was in the military then. In 1961, California Eastern Aviation needed a new name to reflect the growing and diversifying company. The name Dynalectron Corporation was selected from 5,000 employee suggestions. Now, in 1976, Dynalectron established headquarters in McLean, Virginia. Due to its growing size, and the company restructured into four main operating groups: specialty contracting, energy, government services, and aviation services. Now, in the 30 years since the foundation of CEA, Dynalectron had acquired 19 companies in 30 years, had assets of 88 million, maintained a backlog of 250 million, employed 7,000, and had annual sales of 300 million. That's something don't sound right there. Anyway, in 1964, Dynalectron diversified into the energy services business with the acquisition of hydrocarbon research. It shows you how it went from one thing to the extreme to the other. This is nothing legal, but we're going to keep reading. The work began to attract national attention with the Arab oil embargoes of the 1970s. And y'all remember how that worked out, right? It was pretty bad. By the early 1980s, Texaco, Rockall, and Ituku were all marketing Dynalectron's H-oil process. And in between 1976, and they stole it from us. Anyway, between 1976 and 1981, the company had 2 public stock offerings and acquired another 14 companies. Now, by 1986, Dynalectron was one of the largest defense contracts in North America. All right, 1987 to 2003. In 1987, Dynalectron changed its name to DynCorp, and in 1988, DynCorp went private. You know who took over? I mean, you're dealing with APAC, right? To avoid a hostile takeover by Miami financier Victor Posner via an employee initiative led by Daniel R. Bannister. Bannister, as T. Reed Shapiro wrote in his 2011 obituary, was paid $1.65 an hour when he joined DynCorp as an electronics technician in 1953, rising to serve as its president and CEO in 1985-1997. In 1994, DynCorp's revenues were approximately $1 billion. Okay, and you can look at the citation if you need it. In 1997, DynCorp partnered with British company Porton International to form DynPort Vaccine Group. That same year, DynPort was contracted by the Joint Vaccine Acquisition Program, JVAP, or JVAP, of the United States, which is not America, Department of Defense, to manufacture 300,000 doses of a new smallpox vaccine for the military. You can research that if you want. And by the time of his retirement in 2003, Shapiro notes that Bannister oversaw the acquisition of more than 40 companies and was credited with helping to mold an aviation service company into a sprawling conglomerate that employed 24,000 people and earned $2.4 billion in annual revenue, up from his, 600, whatever it was, right? 1 billion, whatever, 600 million, whatever, right? As well, he oversaw DynCorp contracts to operate missile test ranges for the Defense Department. develop vaccines for the National Institute of Health, NIH, and install security systems in United States embassies for the State Department. Shapiro notes that during Bannister's tenure, DynCorp had also supplied bodyguards to Haitian President Jean-Bertrand Aristide in the 1990s and to Afghan President Hamid Karzai in the early 2000s. Now, with the reductions in military spending in the 1990s, DynCorp expanded their focus to the growing tech market. It bought 19 digital and network services firms and acquired contracts with the government's information technology departments, IT. I went there, and it's very short stint. It's stupid. And by 2003, roughly half of DynCorp's business came from managing the IT departments of the Central Intelligence Agency, Federal Bureau of Investigation, and the U.S. Security and Exchange Commission, among others. In 1999, DynCorp moved its headquarters to Reston, Virginia. Now, in December 2000, DynCorp formed DynCorp International, LLC, and transferred all its international business to this entity. DynCorp Technical Services, LLC, continued to perform DynCorp's domestic contracts and sell to CSC, IPO, and purchases by Cerberus Capital 2003 to 2020. In March 2003, DynCorp and its subsidiaries were acquired by Computer Science Corporation, that's CSC, for those who know this stuff. And what's up, beloved? Okay. Announced the sale of for approximately $914 million, nearly $1 billion. Less than 2 years later, CSC announced the sale of 3 DynCorp units: DynCorp International, Dyn Marine, and certain DynCorp Technical Services contracts to Veritas Capital Fund LP for $850 million. We gotta get original Lone Wolf to come on here and set up a podcast where he can talk about the post office. A couple of people asked me about that lately, and a couple other things as far as I'm going to hit him up and communicate with him. You know what I'm saying? As far as LLC, LLPs, LLCs, and all that kind of stuff. Anyway, and the new company became DynCorp International. Now, in 2006, DynCorp International went public on the New York Stock Exchange under the symbol DCP, robbing from Social Security payments. On April 12, 2010, DynCorp International announced a conditional deal to be acquired by private equity investment firm Cerberus Capital Management for $17.55 per share, $1 billion. And the deal was agreed on 7 July 2010. Now, in December 2011, the company hired Michael Thibault, former chairman and commissioner of the Commission on Wartime Contracting in Iraq and Afghanistan, a CWC. As vice president of government finance and compliance, Thibault worked for many years at the Defense Contract Audit Agency, that's DACA, or DCAA, DACA, serving as deputy director from 1994 to 2005. In 2011, DynCorp set a company record with 12,300 new hires, bringing the total number of employees to 27,000. Acquisition by Amentum, 2020 to present. On November 23, 2020, Amentum, a contractor supporting U.S. federal and allied governments, announced that it has closed the acquisition of DynCorp International due to multiple human trafficking cases. A provider of sophisticated aviation, logistics, training, intelligence, and operational solutions in over 30 countries worldwide, the combination has also created one of the largest providers of mission-critical support services to government customers with 34,000 team members in 105 companies around the world. Now, air operations, aviations, all that. What is it alluding to? Let me get to it. Because I'm not going to read everything here. There's plenty of information for those who are very inquisitive to this kind of stuff. All right? Okay, here we go. In September 2001, Ecuadorian farmers filed a class action lawsuit against DynCorp on February 15, 2013. The court granted summary judgment to DynCorp, dismissing the sole remaining human health and medical monitoring claims Ecuadorian plaintiffs had brought in connection with counter-narcotic aerial herbicide spraying operations in southern Colombia, messing everybody up. You know who's in control of it. And the plaintiffs are preparing to appeal this dismissal. Now, an extensive accusation concerning DynCorp's activities and alleged abuses in Colombia was present against DynCorp at the hearing on biodiversity of the Permanent People's Tribunal session on Colombia at the Caricia Humanitarian Zone from February 24th to 27th of 2007. 3 DynCorp employees died when the helicopter was shot down during an anti-drug mission in Peru in 1992. Outstanding. On November 29, 2008, a lengthy article in the New York Times questioned the potential conflict of interest in the hiring by Veritas Capital Fund, LP, holding company for DynCorp, of General Barry McCaffrey. Now, McCaffrey had previously served as a White House drug czar, where he shaped future federal public-private partnerships in drug and pharmacy policies. And he was put in position. Now, check out this. According to Human Rights Watch, there is a substantial evidence that points to the involvement of DynCorp contractors in trafficking of women and girls in Bosnia-Herzegovina, as well as violence against them. In the late 1990s, 2 employees, Ben Johnston, I had to give you a background, okay? A former DynCorp aircraft mechanic, and Kathleen Bolkovic, a UN International Police Force monitor, independently alleged that DynCorp employees in Bosnia engaged in sex with minors and sold them to each other as slaves. Johnston and Bolkovic were fired, and Johnston was later placed into protective custody before leaving several days later. Now, on June 2nd, 2000, an investigation was launched against the DynCorp hangar at Comanche Base Camp. How dare they use the term Comanche? It's one thing to give it to people that aren't Comanches. Another thing, you know what I mean? One of 2 U.S. bases in Bosnia and Herzegovina, and all DynCorp personnel were detained for questioning. CID spent several weeks investigating, and the results appear to support Johnston's allegations. DynCorp had fired 5 employees for similar illegal activities prior to the charges. And many of the employees accused of sex trafficking were forced to resign under suspicion of illegal activity. As of 2014, no one had been prosecuted. Go figure. In 2002, Bolkovic filed a lawsuit in Great Britain against DynCorp for unfair dismissal due to a protected disclosure, whistleblowing, and won. Bolkovic co-authored a book with Carrie Lynn titled The Whistleblower: Sex Trafficking, Military Contracts, and One Woman's Fight for Justice in 2010. And there's a film, The Whistleblower, if y'all aren't aware of it. Now, how about this one? According to the New York Times, the Special Inspector General for Iraq Reconstruction, that's SIGIR, for the ex-military people who know like myself, found that DynCorp seemed to act almost independently of its reporting officers at the Department of State, billing the United States for millions of dollars of work that were not authorized and beginning other jobs without a go-ahead. Now, the report states that the findings of DynCorp's misconduct on an $888 million job to buy weapons and build quarters for the Iraqi police were serious enough to warrant a fraud inquiry. A U.S. government audit report of October 2007 revealed that $1.3 billion was spent on a contract with DynCorp for training Iraqi police. The auditors stated that the program, what they were paying them, a program was mismanaged to such an extent that they were unable to determine how the money was spent. Now, in February 2007, federal auditors cited DynCorp for wasting millions on projects, including building an unapproved Olympic-sized swimming pool at the behest of Iraqi police officials. And in April 2011, DynCorp agreed to pay $7.7 million to the United States government to settle claims that it had inflated claims for construction contracts in Iraq. Now, on October 11, 2007, a DynCorp security guard in a U.S. State Department convoy killed a taxi driver in Baghdad. According to several witnesses, the taxi did not pose a threat to the convoy's security. January 2 sound like some stuff we see going on in Palestine, right? SIGIR report assessed that oversight of DynCorp police training contracts by the Bureau of International Narcotics and Law Enforcement Affairs found that INL exhibited weak oversight of the DynCorp task force orders for support of the Iraqi police training program. It found that INL lacks sufficient resources and controls to adequately manage the task orders with DynCorp. As a result, more than $2.5 billion in U.S. dollars funds were vulnerable to waste and fraud. All those SIGIR's Iraq Reconstruction Inspector Stuart Bowen noted that there was no indication that DynCorp had misspent any of the $2.5 billion. Now, here's an incident that should, and this is where I wanted to get to, but we had to lay foundation, okay? In 2009, DynCorp contractors, I was in for Desert Storm, okay? 96, force retired. DynCorp contractors paid a 15-year-old Afghan Bacha Bazi performer to perform lap dances and entertain them in kundas. Several Afghans were later arrested and investigated. A WikiLeaks cable released after the incident stated that the Afghan Interior Minister at the time, Hanif Ahmad, asked the Assistant U.S. Ambassador to try to squash both the story and release a video from the incident. Now, this is the reason why a lot of guys in Special Forces, ODA, Delta operators, some SEALs and MARSOC guys were having a hard time at certain bases because they were seeing these top general lieutenants or whatever on these bases abuse little boys sexually. Some even disappearing them when they talk to the U.S. military individuals, and they were told by this wicked, vile, fake government and their fake four-star generals in them from the top below, all right, based on APAC, to not do anything and not to get involved. All right. Now, U.S. Ambassador tried to squash both the story and release a video from the incident. You hear that? In response to the incident, DynCorp fired 4 senior managers and established a chief compliance officer position, which focused on ethics, business conduct, related investigations, and regulatory compliance. On July 30th, 2010, a riot broke out when an Afghan car and a DynCorp vehicle crashed on the road near Kabul International Airport. Although initial reports blamed the company and claimed 4 Afghans were killed in the accident, Saeed Abdul Ghaffar, the head of the Kabul Police Criminal Investigation Division, told the New York Times that the Afghan driver had caused the incident and said only 1 Afghan died in the wreck. Mozambique. According to Mozambique media reports, the Mozambican government seized and impounded the 16-vehicle shipment pending the outcome of investigations into alleged tax evasion and deception by OTT Technologies in Mozambique. Now we look at Trump administration lobbying. DynCorp lobbied the Trump administration intensely, to get the Trump administration to rescind a $10 billion contract that the Obama administration made with a rival company to service State Department aircraft. The problem here is this is an ongoing thing that they have to cover up and clean, okay? They have to, all right? The other thing is pipe dreams and the Taliban and drugs from the 1990s into his new regime. If you read this by Brookings, the commentary, if you read this, okay, and the other one right here, for those, they have a I actually use Wikipedia to read this. They have a PDF in which much more information, some other diversities as far as, and you can use that one. I decided to utilize that because it got to the point, and I wanted to give you a little background, where it started, how it started, and how I cultivated, and you can only imagine behind who is in control of it. So anyway, with pipe dreams, 1990, because you know what kicked off 91, right? Desert Shield and Desert Storm. Okay? Going through the Suez sucked then, bro. But anyway, right? On the carrier, USS America. That was a mofo. Anyway, before these wars kicked off, opium import there was really nothing. And after this last 20-year war, that is like one of the primary incomes for the organizations that are into death, mayhem, and murder and chaos. All right? But what's funny, with all of it coming from there, why is the heroin here got K2, horse tranks, and all that other stuff in meth? And we know who created meth, and they brought him here. And we know that they pushed it on the res. It was part of California because they were using it for their soldiers. And who was behind that? You got to look at the personnel out of the 200-something odd SS and scientists brought here. And when you look at Oppenheimer, look at all the people with him, and you can, the information's there, there's books. But the issue at hand if we wouldn't have been there, there wouldn't be no crazy deaths. There wouldn't be this fake Christian nation to which this government don't respect because they worship fake Israel, Zionists, they all are. And y'all never paid attention. Light skins too worried about dark skins, and you're on our soil. Hell, you didn't create UK. The original people of UK, Germany, France, all of them, Scotland, Ireland, were all melanated individuals. And I know it's hard to accept that. Well, that's why you got to go back to incubator babies and Cabbage Patch children, because it didn't only happen here. When I was in high school talking about incubator babies and Cabbage Patch children because of my great grandma, and I was laughing at people, I was getting in trouble. And especially in middle school, I got whooped. Okay? And everybody said it's crazy. And then in high school, we get these little gum and these little cards because we're all starting to talk about this stuff called the garbage pail and the garbage pail kids. That's exactly what they were to these so-called Zionists. All right, who hide behind the identity where they've converted a lot of individuals that have nothing one to do the same. And the same. The CIA, as you know, pushed crack into our communities because just like they did with China in the Opium Wars, all right, they went down there and taught them how to make meth. And we got to remember there's a couple of places down there that people from Germany escaped to get away from this crap, that they built up German towns. I actually had a relative that I found out about that lived down there, and I didn't want to go find them or know nothing about them. And I still have some German relatives down there. And why am I saying this? This is shoot your shot. This is looking at the world you're involved in, the parts you're playing, and what's the effect? You see the effect every day. It's not just 1940 whatever when they changed a certain frequency on all platforms to have a non-healing effect. And we know that as what? 432, right? Or 440, excuse me. And then the 808 of the which kind of robs you, like a certain kind of light can give you a heart attack. Which that's why they went to LEDs right at the fictional COVID time. Okay? Remember, you need to pay attention. It's a lot of R&D that goes behind this stuff. And you see the background had to use one thing for multiple things as they continue to change hand. The fact that Revlon and Wackenhut, excuse me, when Revlon and Wackenhut, when I used to be Union 65 working for Revlon, when I went to military under Veterans Rights Reemployment, they had joined together. And I started having a deeper understanding of the synthetic crap that was meant for the space shuttle aircraft, right? Put into the pots, Teflon, and the other one with all the hydro and diesel chemicals and working, creating these lipsticks, rouge, and makeup and all that stuff, perms with Revlon, that it was by R&D. It's military. It is a weapon. Now y'all are starting to see what's going on. Anyone got anything else they may want to add to that? Hey, Carrie, what's up? Yes, Swati. Where's Governor? What's happening? What's happening? Side City, Freddie Hinkle. What's going on, beloveds? Not Zavada. Anyway, I could have set up and could have had brought people in to share some of the stuff where you worked, some of the things you saw. I might do a bigger one because I actually know some people that, work like me in hydro with chemicals mixing and stuff like that. And we didn't even have the right breathers. You know what I'm saying? We were actually supposed to have like a little oxygen tank working but it was very caustic. And I was grateful that I didn't stay there long. My brother Dwight was working there for a while, but he was driving forklift, and I started doing that because it was, his warehouse in Jersey. And these things are always hidden away, and people ride by them and they don't even know what's going on. And you got these big vats of chemicals and all this stuff coming in at night, and you go in the morning and you select and you see nothing but pure chemicals. And mixing this stuff up, the red 40, this, that, and the other, making lipsticks, oh man, the whole shebang. dyes that go in stuff that's toxic, that will off gas or whatever, or leach in, and nobody knew it. But working on these things, you'd be like, and then you start looking and studying some of the chemicals, whatever that's crap called, and all these other things, and you realize there's a reason why people are having body dysmorphia. They want augmented breasts. Why this brother's acting weird. Toothpaste is not just fluoride. You got to look at some of the chemicals that are put in there along with the fluoride, binders and stuff like that. This stuff, with people with blinders on who don't have no knowledge, well, they subjugate themselves, and everyone's been affected. Look at this. I just stopped my order coming from Australia. They have this thing called Bovar 3C or whatever. That's the stuff to stop the flatulence in cows, with the fictional backing of, the air. I said, you know what, that stuff would be like a staph infection. So I stopped ordering. I'd rather go to the res, order from people I know who got cows. $180 would be me damn near, well, 200 something now. Fill the freezer. I drive 6 hours there and back for that kind of, yeah. Cows eating lavender and certain other stuff out there. They're not eating feed. They're not getting shot up with a bunch of crap. And Bill Gates went over to a certain place. Let me see if I can pull it up. I don't want to sit here making up anything. Okay. Let me see if I can pull it up. All right. Because you know me, I like to have good stuff, good information. All right. It's Bovar or 3NOP. So yes, in Australia, they have a natural way, unlike here, to raise the beef. But Bill Gates, let me pull him up. Let me open another tab. Okay. I gotta scroll down and pull this monkey. This he's not even a marsupial, he's a primate. Where's it at? Boom, oh. Is it Bavaria? Oh, well, anyway. So it states here in AI overview. While there's been misinformation linking Bill Gates to Bovaer, AER, a methane reducing feed additive, that means reducing flatulence, all right, feed additive. Gates is not directly involved with Bovaer. This is a lie. Hold on, you know what I'm going to do. You know what I'm going to do. I think I spelled it right. Bill Gates has rolled out yet another. Now, this is the People's Voice TV. And we've got a bunch of stuff down here. Let me read this first. The People's Voice is what's important, not this fake-ass government, because you already know they're manipulating, changing everything, and I'm on Google. Bill Gates has rolled out yet another product that damages male fertility and reproductive organs as his quest to quietly reduce the global population continues. Backed by Gates, the dairy cow feed additive Bovaer has reignited debates about the motives behind Gates' investments in global agricultural investments, and health initiatives, with critics claiming they align with his long-stated interest in population reduction. We already know he has literally spoke about this numerous times, And if you want to go on YouTube, you can go and there's a, you just put in Bovaer, if Bill Gates thinks it's safe, it must be fine, right? You can check that out for yourself. I think that's that's going to actually be dsm.com. So anyway, standard.co.uk. In January 2023, Microsoft co-founder Bill Gates invested millions into a rival startup, Rumen 8, which developed similar methane-reducing supplements, Bovaer. Inform 5 filters Bill Gates and Bovair, actually, his name. Although it's clown world, it's also serious, as what you need to know about this is that Bill Gates is heavily into these projects, and the Gates Foundation have invested heavily into DSM, who makes Bovair. Now you can put that in, okay, and look at that yourself as far as DSM and its relationship with Bill Gates, okay? The other one, YooHoo, Warren Buffett's friendship with Bill Gates has soured. Nonetheless, Buffett and Gates shared. Where's that? Well, you know who he is, and a philanthropist. Investments don't just come from Bill Gates. That's all I need to say there. Agenda 2030, Agenda 21, Bill Gates vaccine, WHO, Gates, and the WHO refused to recall the lethal vaccine which WHO forces upon millions of African children annually. And that alludes to even attempting to deal with their cattle. You know how some of the tribes, the Maasai and all them are, with their cattle. And I'm going to read the eugenics stuff. We got to get through. All right, no, Claudio Naselli. All right, we got to get through that, and then we'll get into a couple of those other books. We got to read them together. Okay, you can go to CNBC.com. Why billionaires Warren Buffett and Bill Gates. Anyway, you can look it up for yourselves. Okay, and then there's plenty more. Now I'm looking on Yandex, and it just has tons of it. WSJ, BI, SCMP.com, newsfollowup.com, as far as the Ebola vax shots and everything else, and what it's done that the media here hides. The horrible agenda of Bill Gates, and as far as the cancer wisdom, dealing with cancerwisdom.net, teacherstartups.com, foxbusiness.com. You can go and you can get all the information of Bovair you want, and some of the subsidiaries and others who invest in it, and you won't be surprised. You dig? Hey, Nitsa, what's going on? Shalom, what's going on? What's that? Oh, Mac. I'm trying to. Where's good one to keep the mouse? I'm gonna do my best, beloved. Miss you, Indigo. It's good to see you all up in here. I just wanted to share a few things. That's why I said shoot your shot. If you believe, don't believe. I want you to share what little knowledge you have. What do you think about all this? It's like a cesspool of the most craziest. And that's why I say it's important to have balance. Now, I know I am talking on another level for those who are in highs and lows, okay? Or rooms with doors that are hidden. This is real. And y'all should see it. You're living it. All right? And it behooves me to think that a government that is supposed to listen to you wants you to listen to them. Based on, the false flag operations and the murdering of their own individuals, it doesn't matter where, to push an agenda. There are some real things happening. And those agendas is to take over, to change, to manipulate. You know what I'm saying? I just wonder where y'all are at with all this. How do y'all feel? Because I know there are a lot of real feelings out there. And sometimes it's hard to express oneself or state something vicariously or carefully. There's so much. There's a lot more I could talk about, but I figured that would be a good Kickstarter. You get what I'm saying? Nobody's got nothing to say? Look, man, I'm not Obi-Wan Kenobi, and I'm damn sure not Yoda, which is a Jinn. You know what I'm saying? A Jinn. You know what I'm saying? But there's so much stuff, man. And it's not so much that y'all can't figure this stuff out. You know what I mean? But let me turn this air off, bro. It's getting a little cool, man. I got this is kicking up over here, getting the cold, getting goosebumps. But huh? Oh yeah. If y'all ain't got nothing to say, man, I'm gonna shut it down. Come back on tomorrow and read And I'm going to share some other good information. And after my 100 push-ups, I am so sore. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead then. If y'all don't want to, feels like slow. Yes, Carrie. It. Well, absolutely. And it is, as long as if we're having the knowledge, I would like to see y'all start saying, okay, upon yourself, be dismissive in a way that's beneficial and healthy without stopping the 360 movement of attentiveness, and knowing that you are more powerful than anything that they can concoct for the few who get it. All right? Okay? And that's even for the little knucklehead children that come up in here that shouldn't be here. Whether old children, old dumb children, or young, apathetic, semi-wise ones, okay? Hey, T, everybody saying hi, bro. They don't want to support the channel more. These Negroes, man, they done fell off. This one over here, he done lost his focus. No, I'm just messing with y'all. I'm just playing. I'm a F with him 24/7. No, I'm just not right now. This goat milk gonna mess with both of us tonight, because I'm being here and I might need some of that Boveg, to lower the flatulence. No, I'm just kidding. Goat milk does this number. There's a lot to it, but most of it connects in one way, shape, or form. Absolutely. And people, what you laugh for? Who's that laughing for? Anyway. Yeah, you know it. Well, I got goat milk, but they make you strong. Oh, you recover quicker. Cow milk is one thing, but that goat milk, that's some solid. And that one we get is kind of organic. It's natural, right? Or something like that. Don't have that crap in it.
Yup.
You know what I'm saying? I'd rather have woman who's still lactating. I'd rather be sucking on one of them. That's stem cells and everything. That'd reverse everything. And there are people in Cali and the Hollywood industry who have people who they purchase that from and drink it. I met a few, and I remember I stayed the night at a good friend of mine house. I ain't gonna mention his name. He's been in a lot of movies and had some cool girls. And we was having a good time. And I went to eat some honeycomb. I was like, damn, that's milk, man. That's kind of strange, bro. But honeycomb kind of sweet and stuff. So I was like, I remember the next day my poop was dark, and I felt like, what? I think hair was going where hair wasn't that before. What the hell? I said, man, what kind of milk is that, cuz? He like this. What you mean? It's milk. Fool, I know how some of y'all get down. Look how you was partying last night, fool. You know what I'm saying? I'm one woman, and you, man, that's breast milk, bro. I ain't seen that nigga there since. No, we still cool. I should have stayed and got some of the numbers, the digits, to order my own goddamn, bro. But it was phenomenal. Now they probably all oop, bop, 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 ouchie, fouchied up, and no. But yeah, any takers? Any takers out there? I'm just a rebel rousing redneck, old engine of sorts, and I wouldn't mind investing in a little time to sacrament a serious relationship. You know what I'm saying? Cambodian breast milk. Ew. What the hell I want to go there for? No. I know Cambodia. Some of them got some things on them look like Big Mamas from back in the day. She. Anyway, if y'all don't have nothing else to say, I'm going to go ahead and shut it down. And we'll get back in the AM. I'm about to go make me a fat-ass turkey sandwich. Give me some of them Utz chips. Sit back. I'm going to find a movie. The hell with YouTube for right now. And sit back. Let me see. What's it? 78, 76%. Let's go ahead and put that in. And I will see you guys in the AM. You know what I'm saying? The fountain of youth. Oh, Mick, I'm trying to tell you right now. It's the fountain of sun. Goddamn. Well, I remember. I'll never forget that. I had 2 bowls. That was good. I got hooked. 2 bowls. Big bowl, too. Boy, he had them ceramics, them big. Looked like Olive Garden salad, but not see-through. And I was just... Wow, hey, boy, y'all got a cholesterol, whatever it's called. Man, I was just... What? I think we're being played further than we know. Maurice Good, absolutely. Absolutely. It's people going to Antarctica coming back can't move, like the damn near died standing up. Certain people being silenced after they go out and tell that there's nothing but this. They're seeing evil beyond evil. It ain't for me to talk about that crap. All that's gonna end. I'm just saying. How they say, unleash the hellhounds. Just hope you're not in that one place where these things are chasing you, and you don't even realize that you can run forever because you ain't you no more. You are you, but you're not here. All right. There's gonna be a whole lot of folk doing a whole lot of running. A whole lot. Oh, the passport bros. Oh yeah, them. Oh, them people. We did all that in the military, man. That passport, bro. That's just they. And there's a whole bunch of them, and then the passport women when they started going over there, they was just making themselves look stupid around the world. Cause you got women who really look up to some American Negroes, like, and they met some magnificent ones who actually went back to find the children and stay with them and build a home. But you got this new generation of individuals, not all, and y'all seen what they've done. Very disrespectful, uncordial, getting drunk, just like in UK and Israel. You got these guys that go over there to sleep with little boys and himshims or whatever you call them peoples. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. You know what I mean? Getting too late for me. Carrie, you have a good evening. I'm about to get off too, guys. And we can always pick this up. I can set up a little quick podcast for Sunday or something, okay? And we can talk about this. The rabbi ain't going to be back for like another month. And he's all geared with all information. He's still alive, all right? And I said he's got a few individuals. He had this one who's from Brooklyn. Yeah. Yeah. So that's going to be really awesome. But anyway, I'm going to get off of here. I'm going to whip me up a sandwich because I'm hungry. Find a decent movie. And bye-bye. Have a grand evening. You already know, beloveds. You already know. As we should be for one another and for ourselves. Always be very positive. Be of influence to self. Not derogatory. And speak yourself on the highest plane of existence. Doesn't matter what happens. All right? Because when things happen, the world you're in, it'll pull you back into the sump. You've got to move in a direction that's beneficial and courteous to yourself. Okay? Sisters, brothers, see y'all in the AM.